Today we're going to talk about Betfury versus Tron Bet or Wink versus 888. So I'm excited to dive into this because I don't know if most people are aware of some of the real fundamental differences in these three dapps, for lack of better terms, although truthfully they're probably only partially a dapp. And I'll get to that. And the evolution in this space is very fascinating. Here's what I am certain. I am for certain that we are going to see, without question, the gaming dapp space continue to grow. I am certain, no matter what happens in the world of cryptocurrency and regulations, I am certain that there will always be some place that you can, some gaming website you can take your cryptocurrency to. I just feel like I'm 100% certain on that. So if I can get a piece of that pie, so to speak, then I find it very interesting. I think the gaming industry is very fascinating. I've always been fascinated by it, not as just as a player, but also as an investor. And even some of the entrepreneurial endeavors that I've attempted in the past were not only marketing for traditional gaming sites, but also attempting to start my own a couple of different times. I never started them. I just kind of researched it and looked into it and did the market research on what was available, how the marketing worked, the whole 9 yards. And I think the marketing is actually part of the key reason that we're seeing gaming development in the cryptocurrency space, specifically Tron, because it's really the best blockchain for it. I'm biased when I say that, but it clearly is the best blockchain for gaming dapps. So we're going to get started. By the way, this is the CryptoTab browser. Those of you that are looking forward to earning passive cryptocurrency, I know a lot of people get into the dapp space because they want passive income, especially in crypto. I personally believe the CryptoTab browser is the best way long-term, it is a long-term play, long-term to be able to earn that. I'm going to be talking more, putting out more videos, more content specifically for my email subscribers to the Cryptocurrency Passive Profits Strategy newsletter. You can subscribe to that down in the description, but I'm going to start putting out specific content for my subscribers that I'm actually not going to be posting on this channel at all. All right, because I want to cover there's a lot of stuff I want to be able to cover, and I really don't have enough time. I can put out 2 or 3 videos a day. There's so much stuff that I want to cover, but I want to get this knocked out real quick because I've been thinking about doing this video for a while. Also in this video, I told you previously that I would discuss, because Betfury is the newest player on the block, and I like Betfury. And I said that I was going to discuss, I've done 2 videos, I think now, talking about what I liked about it. And I told you I was going to cover some of the things that I did not like about Betfury. And I'm going to be sure to do that probably towards the end of the video. So stay tuned for that. All right, here we go. So let's get started. Let's start with number 1 on the block. The very first gaming dapp was Tron Bet, which has now been rebranded as Wink. Not really sure why that rebranding took place. I mean, I know some of what they're saying it took place for, but okay. So what? And right now they're a gaming dapp, and they have plans to become much bigger. I mean, they have this crazy, grandiose vision. God bless them, so be it. I'm going to go ahead and tell you something here. I'm going to step out on a limb and tell you that I don't know, and I could be wrong in this. Oh, by the way, this Monopoly Live, I hear that's freaking awesome. I want to check that out. I'm going to put a link down in the description for Wink, and I'll have a link down there for 888 and Betfury as well. But that Monopoly looks interesting. Now, hear me out when I say this. The whole idea behind a dapp is it's a decentralized application. The idea is that the gaming platform itself runs on a blockchain. And I think, at least that's sort of the way that it was presented a little bit in the beginning, that Wink was going to, or was hoping to, somehow, when they first came out with e-gaming, their e-gaming platform runs on, which is the Dice and Moon, and 2 or 3 games they have, Dice, Moon, and Ring, primarily runs off the blockchain, or exclusively runs off the blockchain. And it's and that's really, when you think about a decentralized application, I mean, this is it right here. And they weren't, Wink wasn't the first one to ever come out with a platform like this. But the other part of these dapps is you can mine tokens, or for playing on the website, in simpler terms, for playing on the website, you get tokens, and then those tokens earn dividends, like Dice tokens. There's people who are making a ton on Dice. Hang on, let me pull that up. I'm not one of those people. I've only got 2,500 Dice, but I'm going to get 44 TRX today. That's passive Tron that I'm going to earn. And that goes to the website just by playing. A lot of people will play and a lot of people will mine. You see lucky number, you see, you can usually look at the bets and kind of get an idea of who's mining. Anytime you see like over 4 or under 95, those people are typically mining. The way you mine is you just come all the way up here and you just play. You roll under 98 and you just, you know, you got a 1% chance of winning. It's not about winning, it's about losing as little as possible, because for every wager goes towards, you know, every so many Tron wagered goes towards mining a token. Now, the thing with Wink is they ended up coming out with everything else. They came out with poker, which is fine. It's not on the blockchain. Live, which is fine. It's not on the blockchain. Sports, which is interesting. It's not on the blockchain. Hash Lotto, I don't think it's going to be on the blockchain either. And when I say it's not on the blockchain, what I mean is, for example, with e-gaming, you don't have to deposit anything. Everything you do, it comes directly from your Tron Link wallet. But with like poker, for example, you have to make a, well, you don't have to make a deposit. You make a deposit to the table on poker. When you sit down, there's a deposit to the table. When you come to live, for example, with live, it's a little bit different. You have to log in, and then you have to actually recharge, which is the same thing as make a deposit. I think it's interesting they did not use the term deposit. I think they know that people would have been a little bit turned off by that. So they didn't use the term deposit. That's just my guess. I don't know that for certain. But then there's table games, and there's, you know, live casino, sports, live drops, whatever. And there's a live token. One of the things that makes Wink so different is that there's multiple coins for one platform. So, for example, there's a dice for e-gaming. There's a live token, and then there's one of it. Oh, there's poker as well, the rate token, and then there's the Wink token, which earns a little bit of the revenue from all the platforms altogether. If that's not a little bit confusing, then you're a natural at this. You probably should be investing. It's a little bit confusing. Originally, they were just one token. However, the thing that I think that we've learned from Wink is that people actually don't care about blockchain gaming. The only reason people play dice for the most part is to mine the dice dividends. And I mean, I'm not saying nobody gambles there, but poker and live and sports, they came out. I don't know that blockchain technology is actually to a place where you can pull this off effectively. And maybe TronBet knew that. Maybe they totally knew that. And it was just a matter of starting here on the e-gaming platform. But they've evolved into something different, and they've got big plans for the future. It's fascinating to see what they do. I mean, I think by far, Wink is the current leader in the whole gaming dApp space, by far. But, you know, it's 4 different tokens, 4 different dividend models. It's really interesting. I'm not sure that's going to serve them best in the long run. They've got this grandiose vision of what they're trying to accomplish. Will they be able to accomplish it? Who knows? Nobody actually knows yet, but they're not going anywhere. So that's Wink. Now let's talk about 888. 888 was the second player on the market. Originally, I sold all my 888. I will probably be getting some more because they have come a long ways. Now, here's what's interesting about 888. 888 specifically, oh, look at that, I got their own decks. 888 specifically came out and early on and had mentioned that they were going to do blockchain gaming. Slots on the blockchain, the whole 9 yards. And they said that shortly after Wink rolled out like live and different things. Interestingly enough, they now have table games and live casinos as well as the traditional slots, which are video slots, not blockchain-based slots. Now, they originally did have a blockchain-based slot. Interesting. They went from a blockchain-based slot to basically all of these commercial slots here. And the difference is, when it was on the blockchain, it was primarily ran on the hash rate. Now these are all ran on like RNGs, random number generators, which is the same way that internet casinos have been playing slots forever. What makes 888 different is that they are just one coin right now. That's the single biggest difference. And there's a disturbing trend in this entire space, and I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes. But we're watching it take place as we see these games and these, you know, games develop. I don't have any dividends, but it's the same model. I don't have any tokens, but it's the same model. Basically, for every 2070 Tron wagered, you earn 1 token. And of course, you can buy these tokens on an exchange too. And that's not a cost price, that's wagered. So 888 and Tron are very similar in a lot of ways. The biggest difference is 888 has 1 token versus where Wink has, I've said Tron, I meant 888 and Wink. Wink has multiple tokens. Now, here's where the kind of the new evolution in dapps occurs. And it's going to be Betfury. Now, I'm going to tell you something that I haven't really said a whole lot on this channel, but I'm just going to be brutally honest with you. I actually don't like Betfury's business model, personally. Don't like it at all. However, unfortunately, because I don't like that it's really not blockchain based at all. I mean, I'm waiting for the day that one day, and we're not there with blockchain technology. I'm waiting for the day that we can, do full RPG role-playing games, the whole 9 yards, somehow on the blockchain, where all internet capacity and storage and everything will be done in the cloud, but the cloud will be based on a blockchain. We're not there yet, but I'm waiting for that day to get here. Unfortunately, I think all of these, and there's some discussion about whether Wink actually thought that they were going to pull off poker and live. I wish I knew what went on behind the scenes with Wink, because part of me thinks that they weren't prepared for the success they had early on. And I don't know that. I'm just saying, just some of the things I saw made me think, were they not expecting to be this big? And it's almost like, okay, we got to deliver on this roadmap. Like, we've got something real here. Because I in the beginning, I didn't know how they were going to pull off poker live in sports on a blockchain. And I think if I remember right, they actually called it something else back then. I think live was there, but they had something else back then. And I even mentioned that early on in this channel, like live specifically. I was like, how are they going to pull that off? Or what does it have to do with, blockchain-based technology? However, Betfury, this isn't blockchain at all. At all. You want me to tell you what I don't like about Betfury? It is 100% a marketing ploy. And I know that. And I am relatively deep in Betfury right now, especially compared to the other platforms. I've got 31,000 BFG tokens. I was going to stop mining it. Someone said, Bitcoin for Life on his channel said he was going to 100,000, and I thought, no way. I got a little FOMO. So I creeped it up a little higher, and I might continue to creep it up. Who knows? I might get 100,000 tokens, BFG tokens. But here's the reality. This token is literally a marketing ploy. There is nothing on this website outside of, like their dice game, that they supposedly look at the blockchain hash to determine the outcome instead of just a random number generator. At least that's what it looks like. That's what it appears like. There's a little hash rate that shows up when you play. But outside of that, I mean, when these games aren't even out yet, but like the in-house games are the only one that's out. These could be blockchain-based games, but they're not. They're either using the hash rate or they're just totally RNG-based games. And the hash rate, see that they showed the hash down here, but you you deposit into essentially their wallet. If it was really running on the blockchain, just like Tron Dapp, just like 888, you wouldn't have to make a deposit when you play this game, when you play dice. You wouldn't actually have to make a deposit. But you do have to make a deposit here into the casino, which means that I don't have access to this 12 Tron. If something happened, I'll just withdraw this now. But if something happened, it's not your keys, not your coins. When it's in your wallet, you have control of the private keys. So this whole thing Betfury is no different than Bitcoin Casino or BitStars. So if you know what BitStars is, the biggest difference is BitStars doesn't have a token like the BFG token. BitStars, you can deposit Bitcoin, but you can just play in a casino. You can play all your normal games, your live casino, your table games. You can play it using Bitcoin. You can deposit with Bitcoin, the whole 9 yards. But it's not blockchain based at all. At all. It's all RNG, random number generator software. The only Betfury is actually closer to the BitStars probably than Tron Bet. Now, with that being said, unfortunately, I don't think the market cares, which is why I'm in here. The market, when I say the market, I mean the players. I don't think players actually care. I mean, look, the div pool is up to almost 7 million Tron. I'm going to get, what am I getting today? 198. Maybe I'll hit 199. The div pool, or 200. The div pool we got 4 hours ago. Maybe I hit 200. The div pool's at 7 million Tron. 7 million Tron says that the market, the players, don't actually care that it's not blockchain based at all. I think the reason that Betfury is come out as a Tron casino is because they knew there was room in the market for it. Tron Bet is okay, but as far as operating purely as a software platform, as a casino, Bit Casino is way better than Tron Bet. Way better as far as functionality, how it runs, the whole 9 yards. It manages far more traffic, the whole 9 yards. And I think that it was just, I mean, I don't know this, but I wouldn't be surprised if one of these mainstream gaming brands was behind Betfury, because it's ran the biggest difference to Betfury is this dividend model right here, the BFG token. But this token is not needed in any way, shape, or form. It's not needed. TronBet produces a token. The games run off the same blockchain essentially, and you mine the token. But this token is not needed for anything. In fact, they could get rid of this token and it wouldn't affect this platform at all. I actually think that's the plan. I think long term the plan may be, when I say the plan, I mean if there's ever any regulatory scrutiny, I think the plan will be to get rid of the token, because that would relieve some of the regulatory heat. Because it's possible they could argue that this is an unregistered security or whatever. That's a possible argument. And I think it's easier just to get rid of the token. And it doesn't matter if they don't allow US players. US players will probably still use VPNs, but it doesn't even matter if they don't allow US players. All that really matters is that they have a player base and a player pool. Tron, I think, for Betfury, and I've mentioned this before with other dapps, but I specifically with Betfury, I think Tron Dapp space is just a way of the marketing. This isn't really a dApp at all. That's what I don't like about it. That's the bottom line. But I know people are going to play it because they don't care. Because people right now, more people are focused on earning an income, trying to make an income, trying to grow their crypto, hoping their crypto goes up in value, versus focusing on the technology at all. I don't think they care about the technology at all. I had said in one of my videos, 888 I thought may ultimately be the market leader at one point in time. And the reason I thought that is because they were so focused on blockchain technology. They were so focused on blockchain technology. But I don't think I don't think that's their focus any longer. I think right now it's just how do we compete with Wink. That's their goal. And Betfury is going to compete with Wink long term. I feel like we'll have to see how they continue to develop. But it runs pretty smooth. It's going to have the slots, the table games, the live. You know what Betfury is missing? Here's another thing I don't like from a player standpoint. They are missing the in-game chat. This chat here is not the same. This is like a chat on the total website. But when you go to Tron Bet or Wink and you play like Ring, it's really fun to play and to be able to talk with people. But if you come here to Circle, which is just like Ring, there's no one to really talk to. Oh, there's actually some players in here today. There wasn't any players the other day. But there's no one to really talk to. Oh, look at that. This jackpot has jumped up a good bit. Wow. That's one thing Betfury. Betfury has everything that players want to see. Ring has 106,000 Tron jackpot. Let's see. Dice has 629,000 jackpot. The way you get the jackpot on Dice is basically you got to get 5 numbers. If you bet over 100, you get 50%. If you bet over 1,500, you get 80% when you hit. But you got to hit 5 numbers in a row on the dice that either like begins with like 52, 55, 58. It could be 62, I think, as well. To win the jackpot, you should place bets in dice game. The lucky combination must match by the first 7 digits. Okay, I think the first 7 digits have to be 5. So you have to roll 7 numbers in a row, and the first digit has to be 5, basically, on 7 numbers in a row. And nobody's won this jackpot yet. It's gonna have the potential to be enormous. And then not to mention they do the cash back system. That's awesome. They have the promotional rankings, which makes sense on the cash back model. They do a lot of things that attract players. But pure blockchain enthusiasts could care less about this. They would just go to somewhere like Bitcoin casinos if they wanted to play with their Bitcoin. But Betfury has found a niche, kind of like Amazon started selling books. Betfury has started in the Tron space. And we can see the evolution in Wink. Wink actually is doing let me see, earlier they were showing this. If you don't know this, right here, Wink is starting multi-currency now. Enjoy your favorite games with Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and Bitcoin Cash. That's incredible. Like that really is incredible. They were the first ones to do it. I mean, I'm telling you, right now, Wink is the market leaders. Their token, their token right now on Tron Trade isn't selling for a whole lot. But I think long term, I own some Wink and I'm gonna eventually buy some more. I think Wink's gonna do something long term, personally in the DApp space. We'll just have to ultimately wait and see. And their token is much more part of the ecosystem. I'm telling you, Betfury could get rid of their token and it wouldn't even matter. I mean, they have this token burn here, which is interesting, but no one's playing because of the token burn. It's cool to help keep you from getting diluted, but nobody's actually playing because there's a token burn. So just to recap, Wink is the market leader, doing a lot of things right. Partly started out purely as a blockchaining platform, moved away from that. 888 came on board as a blockchain purist, sort of, with their games. I mean, but then their very first dice game, slot game, was kind of ugly, but it was blockchain based. But then they moved away from blockchain a good bit just to be able to compete with the Wink, and then now there's Betfury, and Betfury has totally gotten away from blockchain altogether, 100%. Is it fun? Sure, it's fun. Does it pay out dividends? Yes, for now, and the dividends are juicy right now. Almost, look at that. I'm probably going to cross over 200 Tron. That's awesome. Dividends are juicy right now. They're the third stage of mining. The stages are short. It's only 23 Tron to mine. It means, you're going to get diluted, but you're going to get a lot of coins really, really fast. The coin may go for sale one day. Currently, it's not for sale on exchange. Wink and 888 Wink and 888 are for sale on platforms. Overall, the space is fascinating. I think the gaming space is probably the best use case, or the best test. Use case is a real word. The best test for the Tron blockchain, because it puts a lot of stress on that blockchain. And I don't know that there's any other blockchain that can handle that stress, honestly. I mean, there's a lot of other chains out there, but I mean, I don't know. Tron's where it's at for the foreseeable future. Hashtag buy Tron, not financial advice. That's just what I'm doing. Hey, thank you so much for watching. I'll put the links in the description. But tell me something. What's your favorite? If you're playing at one of these casinos, tell me your favorite. First, second, third. Like, this is my first choice, this is my second choice, this is my third choice. Just let me know. Put it down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification icon. More content's going to be coming your way. Probably tomorrow.